Good afternoon. I am Sean Ricker, and today I'll be showing you a short video about aggregate demand shocks. So shocks to the aggregate demand occur with non-price factors. This includes consumer, investment, government, and net export shocks. Um, these include taxes on consumers, interest rates, wealth, consumers' confidence for the consumer section, taxes on capital, interest rates, business confidence for the investment section, government spending, it includes the spending of the governments, and for the net export, it includes economic growth abroad, exchange rate of dollar to other currencies, tastes for foreign goods, and tastes of foreigners for U.S. goods and trade policies. So the graph used is the typical aggregate demand, aggregate supply model. You can see the y-axis is the price level. The x-axis is the total GDP. We see in the yellow bar is the long range aggregate supply. The red bar is the short range aggregate supply, and the blue bar is the aggregate demand. And you can see that the dotted line as an equilibrium shows the equilibrium price, and then the yellow line just goes straight down into that equilibrium GDP. So for positive demand shock, here we see the changes made to the aggregate demand, aggregate supply model. So if there's a positive demand shock, such as a decrease in taxes for consumers and or decrease in taxes for investors or investments like businesses, and there's more confidence in the product that they want to buy, either with consumers, or there's more confidence in the investment they want to make for businesses. We see a positive demand shock. So in the short run, which will be the graph on the left, you see that the aggregate demand goes to the right, or shifts to the right on the graph, and the equilibrium price has not changed. The GDP, or the output, has been moved over to the right, and the equilibrium price has been moved up, which means that we're producing more, but we're also paying more for the price, and the long range aggregate supply is not met at that equilibrium price yet. However, in the long run, so given a long enough time, which is dependent on what's at hand, it's dependent on what's at hand, we can see that the short range aggregate supply eventually does shift to the left. The reason for this is that the short range aggregate supply does need to eventually meet up back with that long range aggregate supply, because the demand may have changed, but the overall production possibilities and the resources at hand do not change with that demand. So eventually, once that short range aggregate supply shifts to the left, we now have a new equilibrium, the third one we have had, which again shifts the price up again. So now we're paying even higher prices than before, but that production does come back to the original equilibrium. So now we're just paying more for the same amount of products we had before. Now, for negative demand shocks, what we see is with that decrease in confidence, or an increase in taxes, or an increase in interest rates, we see that the aggregate demand does move over to the left, or shifts to the left, which then decreases GDP and decreases price. So now there's less product, but people are paying less. However, that is too little for the current productions. So eventually, the short range aggregate supply does shift to the right to meet back up, and to then come back to the equilibrium with that long range aggregate supply, and come back to where the production is at its max efficiency, which then does again decrease the price of the product, but then returns that output back to equilibrium once more. So now we're paying less for the same product we had before. And that concludes my video on aggregate demand shocks. Thank you.